Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, this is 2 fishing videos in a row, but you know, that's all I can do right now. I'll start doing my morning vlogs, probably not tomorrow, but it'll be the following day because that's when I get off work. I'll start doing my morning vlogs. Right now though, I'm gonna have Will from Man Stuff, Will the Hype Brown, be my interview today, and I've got some questions that I've had. Several people asked me, like Eric Hensley, who follows my page and also has his own YouTube page, and actually he's part of the Tennessee chat fishing team. He just joined this year, so hopefully some of the skills that I've helped him learn over the past couple months have helped him enough where he can get to these tournaments and do pretty well at. So I'm gonna let Will go ahead and kick off the questions, and we'll see where we go.
All right, James. What was your first setup?
My first setup was this one right here, which oddly enough I bought from, in my last video I talked about Roger Clark, one of my buddies, worked for Bass Pro Shop. This is the setup that I was talking about in that video. But this is my first setup. It's a Quantum Tour KVD, 7'10" medium heavy cranking rod, and then it's matched with a Quantum 5:3 to 1 Cranking Classic KVD Tour reel. The 5:3 to 1 gear ratio is a power ratio. I mean, it's for the bigger plugs and stuff, and this was my first good quality of combo. So I mean, probably not the best one to start with. I mean, because I was very limited to what I could throw, but at the time all I threw was big plugs, big crankbaits, big spinner baits, bigger baits. So this rod handled it really well, but now I've kind of cranked it back, and now it's just for my deep diving stuff on my big lipless. Because I mean, the rods, I mean, you can see it's, there's my finger. I mean, it's fairly thick. I mean, it's a pretty hefty thing. So I will explain why it's two different colors, and I'll explain why. I'm sure the color palette just did that for KVD, but this is a composite rod, which means half of it's graphite and half of it's glass. I like that combo because you have all the power of the graphite in your backbone, and you have all the ease and niceness of the glass. And if you can see the tip of this thing, I mean, it's pretty whippy. I mean, it's a pretty whippy thing, and then the backbone is just, there's no give to it. It's just a real stiff backbone. So for me, this is what I want all my cranking stuff on. Some people, when it comes to lipless, they want a graphite rod for feel, but graphite, glass, I have both. So it's just a preference thing. But this was my first combo. I still use it today. Right now, it needs some more cleaning. Missed a few spots, and I would need to re-spool it. But for now, it's just kind of had a commission for right now. So, but that was my first setup, and I still have today. So, yep.
All right, but why did you choose that one?
I chose this one because I was a huge Kevin Van Dam fan, and I started out with a Zebco 33. That was my first combo, and Zebco makes Quantum. Quantum's like the Cadillac brand, so it's their higher end brand, and for the longest time that's the only brand I used was Quantum stuff. Now I've got a pretty mixed bag now, but it's just the ones that I thought were the best, and I've got several Quantum stuff, but I chose that one just based off the fact that I like power fishing. I love the idea of constantly throwing something and reeling it back in, so that's why I bought that one.
Okay. What about the black combo?
The smoke one. Those of you who know anything about Quantum stuff, this is probably one of their better reels, but that is a Quantum PT smoke reel on a smoke rod. Quantum came out, this is actually the first generation. They have a second generation now, which I don't have, but this rod and reel combo, I can't say enough. Right now it's my spinnerbait. For those of you who don't know what spinnerbait is, there it is. Right now it's my spinnerbait setup, but really it's my all-around setup. If I had to only choose one rod and reel, I'd buy a bunch of these, and this is all I would buy. It's a 7-foot medium heavy rod. I mean, it's the go-to rod length, go-to type, and it's matched with a Smoke 6:6 to 1 gear ratio reel. It is phenomenal. I've caught a lot of fish on this. Actually, this started out as my pitching setup. I don't know why, but I put braid on this, and I threw a Strike King Rodent before Missile ever came out. Now I throw Missile D-bombs, but this is what I did all my pitching stuff on. Now it's my spinnerbait rod, but it's an all-around good rod. If you guys were ever going to buy one brand, one rod, that's all you're going to buy, this would be the one that I would buy. It's got micro guides, which some people don't like. I actually really like the micro guides. I mean, it's just a preference, but this is what I like. So, but yeah, that was actually my second rod purchase right there. So, still have it. Still works.
Now, what about the frog one?
The frog setup. This is where my brands started to change up a little bit. And frog, he's talking about this hollow body, live target hollow body frog. It's very realistic, and you know, I don't get off, but this is my favorite frog to throw, and the reason why it has one setup purpose for this thing is actually a St. Croix. I don't know if you guys can see that, probably not, but it's not important. But it's my slopping frog rod. It's a heavy action rod. I mean, it's, you know, there's no whip like it was with this. This is all graphite. The reason why I bought this was because I was still trying to learn rod and reel combos, and St. Croix, the Mojo Bass Series, came out with lure specific rods, and this is what I wanted. I always wanted to frog fishing. This also helps with heavy cover pitching of lures like jigs and Texas rig stuff. So it's got multiple purposes. I just use it for my frog stuff. It's a I think it's a 7 foot. Yeah, 7 foot power. It's a power rod. I mean, it's 7 foot heavy. It's got a really good backbone on it, and it's matched with Seaguar 30-pound braid, which you probably can't see in the video, but that's okay. But this braid is amazing. If you guys are trying to find a good braid, Seaguar Smackdown is the best braid that I have ever used. And I matched that with a Abu Garcia 641 speed reel, Revo SX. Really good combo. But yeah, that's pretty much it on that one.
And so why'd you choose bass fishing?
Bass fishing for me, I started out, you know, bluegill fishing like everybody else does, and it was fun for the longest time, but I got so tired of, you know, throwing out a bobber and then you just sat there and you hoped you got a bite. And then I started watching some of these pros on TV, and they were just like throwing all this stuff and different rod and reel combos, and different baits, different colors, and boat sponsorships, and I loved it. And I really started to bass fish when I was about 9 or 10 or 11 or 12, one of those ages. And I did a video before this about Rambo crankbaits, and that's actually, you know, one of my favorite go-to lures. But the reason why I chose it was because it's a bigger fish, and you've got to really know what you're doing to really key in and catch these guys. So it was really just to adapt your skill and get better at something that nobody else really wanted to get better at in my hometown. So that's why I did it.
Okay. So you get a bunch of other ones over there. So tell me about the rest of your combos.
Let's start with this. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a huge crankbait fan. And KVD came out with another, I guess, a second generation of his rods. So I was really into, I still really am, really into the lipless crankbait stuff. And this is actually a Quantum Tour KVD second generation combo, and it's matched with, this one's my lipless setup, so it's matched with a 7:3 to 1 gear ratio, which is high speed, and it's a medium action rod. You know, a little bit light of a rod with this kind of stuff, but the lipless crankbait here, I mean, you can cast this thing forever, and it's just real smooth, and it's really light. I mean, compared to this big one, this is way lighter. They cut a lot of the weight out when it comes to like the bearings and stuff. I mean, a lot of people say, you know, oh, you're just buying a name, but there's a reason why he's the #1 fisherman in the world, and his thing is cranking. So as long as he's still there, I'm still gonna buy these. I have nothing wrong with this brand. I fully support the Quantum series stuff. That doesn't mean all my stuff is bad. I just really like this stuff, you know, as my go-to. It'll bug on me. And but yeah, this is just my lipless crankbait setup. I don't have my square bow set up. I actually don't have the rod anymore. I sold it to one of my friends because he was really getting into it. And I was like, hey, I'll just give you the rod. I'll buy me another one. I have a Abu Garcia winch inside. It's a power reel just like that one, but it's a 5.4 to 1 instead of 5.3 to 1. But really smooth. I don't have it in this video. Maybe in the next one I'll put it in there. But that's my lipless setup. I was going to talk about top water this morning, but the video just crapped out and didn't work. But this was what I was going to talk about. This is another St. Croix Mojo bass rod, but it's a topwater, and that is a Quantum Kinetic reel, which is a little bit cheaper reel, but it's actually one of the smoothest reels I have for the cost. It only cost me $100 for this reel, it was worth it. I mean, the rod's 110. This is 100. You can do the math. It's not a bad deal for, you know, cheap cost, good quality. You can't beat that. And Roger Clark, who I mentioned in my first video, actually got me hooked on this lure. And it's beat up because it's been through heck and back, but that is a Sammy. And Lucky Craft makes this lure, so I mean, this is one of my favorite lures to go to. This is one of my go-to lures. It's an amazing lure. I'll go into detail later on this, how to actually work this stuff, but for now I'm going to talk about my setups. It's got a 10-pound monofilament on there. It's a 7-foot rod. I'm sorry, 6'8" medium action rod. It's a little bit thinner on the backbone here, but I mean, all around, I think this is a really common go-to. Then I have, you would figure, me being, you know, a brim fisherman starting out young in life, I would have a bunch of these combos, but I don't have a lot of finesse stuff, and my rod's are tangled up. But this rod's actually old. It's a Quantum IM6 rod. I mean, it's been through a lot of my life. I've had it for a long time, and this is my Smoke 5-2-1 gear ratio spinning reel. Not a lot on this one. I mean, I've just caught a lot of fish on it. Finesse right now. It's in a drop shot rig, which is kind of hard to see, but not a lot of stuff on spinning stuff. I mean, I throw it when I need to, and you know, that kind of stuff. And the last rod I have on here is actually really special to me, and I'm not about to get super sentimental on this, but I talked earlier about Roger Clark being like one of my closest friends, and actually he doesn't live here anymore. He lives in Texas, but this lure is a net bait pocket jig with a chunk on it, and it's football head. That's the jig that these are the jigs that he let me use to catch my first bass on a jig. And this rod combo is a 6'6" medium heavy St. Croix Mojo Bass jig. I think it's just a jig and worm, jig and worm rod, and a Rio 6-4-1 SX. You know, this actually is a replica of the rod that I used that day with him. And as soon as I caught my first fish on it, I went the very next day and bought the exact combo to what he had. So I will always have, if I do go to different brands, I'll always have this combo because it just meant a lot to me to him to use his stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I mean, yeah, this is just a real basic setup for people who are going to start. A lot of people don't, like my wife doesn't understand why I have to have so many gear ratios, but it's kind of like this. You don't go golfing with one club. You don't. You have several clubs. Well, when you go fishing, bass fishing especially, you have several rods. They all do something different. So that's just a little sneak peek into my stuff. So
Well, thanks for having me on. Glad everyone able to watch. James Crick,
what's up,
Will Brown, the Hype Man.
guys?
This is James's channel.
And guys, we will see you on either my channel or Man Stuff channel. Will actually has a channel, but he doesn't have any videos up yet. I don't know if we're going to add anything to that or not. We might. We are going to start working out, so just get used to not seeing these fat selves you see all the time. We're actually going to start getting back in shape. You know, get ready to see some changes. But as far as these fishing videos, I'm going to try to do at least one fishing video a day. I'll try to do some regular vlogs throughout the day. I know there's going to be some people that don't like fishing. And we will try to start doing more stuff on the Man Stuff channel besides lip syncing stuff. It's just right now that's what we can do because it's cheap and it's free and costs nothing and it's fun.
It's super fun.
And I'll try to do some other stuff on my channel. Most of my channels will be just me talking to you guys and telling you what I'm doing. But guys, until next time, y'all be careful. Stay safe. See you later.
Deuces.